Hey everybody, welcome to TIW Podcast. I'm Eric, and today I watched the season finale of Doom Patrol. That's Doom Patrol Season 1, Episode 15, Ezekiel Patrol. This is it. This is the last episode of the season. The season is done. But honestly, I need to watch this whole episode again because it was so weird. I had to go back and watch a couple of the scenes a couple of times to really get what was going on. But that is not a fault of the show at all. I thought it was as excellent as the rest of the season. I was just like not in the right like mental mood, I guess, to be watching it. Plus, the power, like something was going on with the power over the last couple of hours that may just like a really quick surge or a very brief power outage. I could hear the battery backup upstairs on my desktop computer. Hear it clicking on and off whenever this happened, and then the Apple TV just couldn't handle this event. So that put through a rent that it did what my speaking is doing right now. It really put a wrench in the gears of really being in the flow of the episode and all of that. But yeah, we had just learned in the previous episode that Niles was behind the creation of all of this ragtag group of superhero wannabe maybes, maybe do wells. You got never do wells, you got always do wells. We don't use that phrase, but you also have maybe do wells, which these guys are. They have the potential to do well. But anyway, yeah. Mr. Nobody, having exacted his revenge, or so he thinks, he sends them back off to be in the real world and keeps Niles hostage to continue the torture or revenge and all of that. But he knows that nobody's going to come to save him because they've driven all of the Doom Patrol away. So we get some backstory. We see all of the events leading up to the creation of the five of the Doom Patrol, seeing his shady methods at the ant farm were behind keeping Larry Trainer hostage and stuff like that, and how he was informed of the existence of Crazy Jane, and the whole deal with him really struggling with the fact that Cliff was supposed to be taken out but on the racetrack, but was instead taken out with his family, with his wife and daughter in his car later on. He seemed to be really struggling with that, and maybe couldn't quite handle it. But then the final straw, not really it got even worse. We had to he was convincing Vic to convincing Silas to save Vic, there, to become cyborg. So it was really cool to see all that perspective of their origins. It'd be cool. At some point, I'm going to go back and watch this entire season as well, and to see, because we see those origin stories from their own points of view earlier on, and this is, in a couple of the cases, this is like the third time that we see it, and it's kind of like the real truth behind it, that kind of thing. But going through all this, Mr. Nobody, he realizes there's one last thing that he forgot about. It was to find Niles's lover, and he doesn't find her because she's no longer alive or something. But his daughter is being kept safe on Danny the Street in the doll hospital, which is where he goes. He goes and he recruits. Before he goes, he recruits Ezekiel, the doomsday touting cockroach, and Admiral Whiskers, the rat that whose mother was killed by Cliff, and who he attempted to get his revenge on Cliff, and it kind of worked. He did mess some things up, but he really wants even more revenge. So the Brotherhood of Dangerous Animals goes and kidnaps Danny the Street in order to capture Niles' daughter, but Niles' daughter is much too powerful, and she ends up making the rat and the cockroach extremely large, and Mr. Nobody is out of control, has lost his control over the situation, and they're all trapped in a painting, and the painting is emitting a song just to the Doom Patrol. The I Get Knocked Down, or whatever that song is called by Chumbawamba. What is the name of that song? I don't know. But the Beard Hunter is the one singing that song in karaoke, and that is what draws them there. And Niles explains what's going on. He asks them for their help. They refuse, but they eventually come around to it to help Danny, their friend, and Niles' daughter, who hasn't done anything wrong, or that they know of. She's not evil, but she is capable of destroying everything, I guess. As indicate that she made the vermin gigantic. So what else could she do? So they go there and they try to do their thing, and Rita has the great idea to encourage and convince Mr. Nobody to actually be somebody and change things up, get back into his narration game. And that turns things around. Everybody ends up getting eaten by the cockroach, which would shield them from the radiation from Larry ripping back open the barrier back to their own dimension. But it backfires on Mr. Nobody, because he and the Beard Hunter realize at the last second, oh, they're protected inside of the cockroach, but we're not. Uh-oh. So they are left trapped inside the painting, the only two little specks of things on the otherwise blank canvas, and everybody is very small except for Larry. He escaped normal sized, but everybody else is very small because they were inside of the cockroach, and they had to blast their way out and kill the cockroach. And now they're tiny. They're teeny tiny. But Niles and his daughter are there. His daughter, I'm sure, it will be able to enlarge all of them again, hopefully in a constructive manner. He narrated all this stuff to get the pieces into place for the cockroach to eat everybody, except before all of that, Cliff was eaten by Admiral Whiskers. And so it required Cliff to climb out of Admiral Whiskers' throat and back down the throat of the cockroach. And how could he do that? He could do that because Mr. Nobody put the sound, not the sound. I was gonna say the smell is even grosser. There's love in the air between Admiral Whiskers and Ezekiel. So we get these gigantic rat and cockroach making out, all kinds of tongue action. It's disgusting and hilarious and mostly disgusting. But Cliff gets swapped along with the saliva into the belly of Ezekiel. So that's pretty much all the stuff that happens. My summary of it is, I think maybe it follows. It makes some sense. they've finally successfully they finally successfully defeated Mr. Nobody. Will they just leave that paint? Maybe they'll hang that painting inside somewhere, or what? And maybe Mr. Nobody will eventually find a way to escape the painting himself, along with the Beard Hunter. The Beard Hunter sold all of them out, we learned, for a taste of some sweet Abraham Lincoln beard hair and some other notable beards he got a taste of. It was nice that we got an update that Flex Mentalo was able to rescue everybody else, all of the Danizens, citizens of Danny, from the street and get them out and away from there. So that was very nice of him. And hopefully Danny themselves was able to escape when Larry ripped open that hole in the dimensions there. I would assume so, because otherwise Danny the Street would still be in the painting along with Beard Hunter and Mr. Nobody. So what else was there? I feel like there's a whole bunch of other stuff. We had in the present day, before they got enticed by the karaoke stylings of the Beard Hunter, we saw that Larry and Rita had like an apartment or house together, and they were just going about their business, trying to grow as people and teach high schoolers how to act, being a drama teacher and all that kind of thing. Then we had Jane. She goes back to that that school, or what ended up being the prison for the former Doom Patrol, and talked to that's right. In the flashbacks, we got to see Joshua, who is now looking after Doom Patrol in that one place, that school, the academy or whatnot. He has a drug that he wants to offer Jane. Shows it to her. He says it needs to be very specific amount. Like, we have a really solid plan in place for how to take it, because because of how powerful it is, and it's not a cure. It like silences everything. Like, it will really mess you up, that kind of stuff. And she just grabs it and zips right out of there. Flips right out of there. And then she just injects it like a drug addict, and she just zones out, goes to that lake scene from her puzzle, and just all of her personalities are just, out of their minds with nothingness. And it was a little bit intense. It was like the most intense thing that you could present with the most like serene imagery. And then we see Cliff. He comes and brings her food and kind of snaps her of it, and they're like, "Can you hear that music? Let's go beat the crap out of whoever's playing that. This is awful." So that's what got them going to track down Danny. The music coming from Danny. And it makes sense. The lyrics from that is there's somebody named Danny in that song, I think, unless I mishear the lyrics every time I've ever heard it. So yeah, I think that's all I want to talk about from this episode. It's this whole season has been so much fun to watch. And I really, really hope that they make another season, or another 2 seasons, or another 3, 4, however many they can think of to make. I hope they keep making it, because television needs some really weird stuff on it too. It doesn't just need the NCISs and the criminal minds and the procedural crime-solving shows. We also need some superhero crime-solving shows with interdimensional weirdness with gigantic rats and cockroaches making out with each other with sloppy tongue kissing. Who says it like that? Sloppy tongue kissing. What? I don't know if those words have ever been put together before. But yeah, I already tweeted at DC and the Doom Patrol accounts that they gotta make more seasons of this, and I can't do any more as far as subscribing, like continue my subscription, because I'm good till like the end of the year already. But I encourage anybody who is remotely interested in the Doom Patrol to subscribe. Just try it for a month. I think it's only like $7 per month or something like that. Just try it for a month. You can watch the entire show right now. Even though at this point, if you're listening to this episode, like I just told you everything that happens. But still, tell some friends. Tell them to check it out. Give it a try. It's $7 for $7 to watch 15 crazy episodes of Doom Patrol, plus a whole first season of Titans. That's a great deal, even just to try it for 1 month. And then maybe you'll get hooked on Swamp Thing that starts this week, I think, on May 31st. I'm pretty excited for that. I have purposely avoided the trailers for it because I know I'm going to watch it anyway. And I kind of don't want any more information than I actually need, which is just that the show will exist and when it will start. That's all the information I need to check it out. So stay tuned. I will absolutely be doing episodes about Swamp Thing, unless I just don't like it after the first episode. But it seemed from stuff that, despite not wanting to learn anything about it, I've seen like tweets and like review headlines and all of that. People are getting pretty excited about it. People who have actually seen it are excited about it. So I feel like it's going to be pretty good. Maybe not as good as Doom Patrol, but hey, I think it'll be pretty close at the very least. So that is it for the finale of Doom Patrol, and that is it for this first season of Doom Patrol. I absolutely hope there is more to come. Let me know what you thought about Doom Patrol. Now I can get to reading some Doom Patrol to kind of deal with the post Doom Patrol sadness. The PDPS. What is happening right now? Let me know what you thought about this season of Doom Patrol by tweeting me at TIW Podcast. Go to TIWpodcast.com for more reviews. If you enjoyed this episode or anything else on the site, please share some links with your friends. Subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, wherever you like to listen. And I'll see you back here for the next episode of TIW Podcast. Stay safe out there in all the infinite multiverses, including if you're stuck inside of a painting. Don't get eaten by cockroaches unless it's a legitimate strategy to shield yourself from radiation so that you can escape that particular pocket universe. But anyway, I'll see you next time here on TIW Podcast. Bye. I repeated that part, I think. I don't know. I need to work on these endings somewhat. Bye for now.